How is life for you? Keeping your head, or? Carl Jung said, "Every form of addiction is bad, no matter whether the narcotic be alcohol, or morphine, or idealism." Kate Middleton gives this insight. Addiction is a hugely complex and destructive disease, and its impact can be simply devastating. All too often, lives and families can be shattered by it. So what about you? Are you, like most of us, completely free from addiction because it's something other people have to deal with? Not me. Who are you kidding? We all try to go the full distance, no matter who we are. But sometimes life throws hammer blows. Pain, disappointment, rejection, failure, divorce, illness, redundancy, secrets, loss, family breakdown, abuse, bereavement. Bruised and battered, we try to get up, but then try to find freedom an easier way. Escapism is the subject of hundreds of films as people get caught by drugs, alcohol, gambling, porn, social media, stealing, lying, and even spending anything to find a way out. Why is this? And why does it often lead to tragedy? Brad Pitt spoke for many when he said, "I was boozing too much. It just became a problem." People like George Best, Johnny Depp, Paul Gascoigne, Freddie Flintoff, Diego Maradona, Jamie Lee Curtis, Ant McPartlin. Perhaps you or me? Fergie admitted to Oprah Winfrey that it easily went from ecstasy to crystal meth. She said, "With any drugs, everything is great at the beginning, and then slowly your life starts to spiral down." Before his tragic suicide, Robin Williams said, "Cocaine for me was a place to hide." Too many have sought that hiding place and found it equally destructive. Amy Winehouse, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Jimi Hendrix, Marilyn Monroe, Janis Joplin, Kurt Cobain, Drew Barrymore. Sadly, the list could go on. What does it take to realise that getting hammered doesn't bring us the freedom we long for? The trouble and the truth is, it creeps up on you, and soon you find yourself captive to the very thing that promised freedom. Nikki Sixx stated what seems obvious. Addiction is a really hard thing to kick. Famous poet W.H. Auden bluntly said, "All sins tend to be addictive, and the terminal point of addiction is damnation." Imprisoning addictions rob us and take many forms. Jane Fonda admitted in her mid-40s, "I was bulimic, and I realised if I continued with this addiction of mine, I would not be able to continue doing my life. It was very hard." Suffering the same addiction, Princess Diana described her bulimia as rampant, pretty devastating, and just a feeling of being no good at anything and being useless and hopeless and failed in every direction. Perhaps anonymous, ordinary John is easier to relate to when he said, "My goal in life wasn't living, it was getting high." over the years I turned to cocaine, marijuana, and alcohol under a false belief it would allow me to escape my problems. It just made things worse. I kept saying to myself, I'm going to stop permanently after one last time. It never happened. The challenger's goal is to lay you out. Wait a moment. There is hope, for it can be down but not out. Breaking free is hard, and there may be bloody bruises or a limp. But notorious sex addict Augustine overcame his addictions through this eureka moment. He said, "You have made us for yourself, O Lord, and our heart is restless until it finds its rest in you." Did you know that Steve McQueen, the heavy drinking, philandering, drug-taking wife-beater of Ali McGraw, discovered this too in 1979, not many months before he died? Does this seem impossible? Nelson Mandela said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." John F. Kennedy adds, "The best road to progress is freedom's road." The 12 steps of AA point the way to freedom's road through spiritual awakening and connection to God. Henry Ford said, "Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right." What do you think? Descartes suggests it is thinking that proves existence, but it is your willingness to think differently that may give you the freedom for an ongoing existence. What's to stop you? You are not made to be an emaciated POW in this life, but to be someone who walks about in freedom. The greatest liberator of all time is the one who connects us to God. You don't need to escape by a tunnel or over the wire. You need to connect with the Son of God, as countless millions have. You see, if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. John 8:36, as it says in the Good Book. With Him, you can take all the punches and come through a champ. Why not choose a different future? With God's help, you can. It's time to connect for life and to say, it ain't over till it's over.